Joined by Hofstra head coach Simon Riddiough following a 0-0 draw in today's home opener against Colombia. Coach, thoughts on today's performance?
From a defensive perspective, I thought it was awesome. We were disciplined, we battled for each other, we pressed at the right times, we tactically and intelligently defended. You know, we know this time of year the offensive stuff's not always clean and crisp enough, and that's probably what let us down in the end. But we've just tied a Colombia who got to the second round last year. They beat Rutgers in the first round and lost to Clemson 2-1 in the second. That's a very good team. They're well coached. It was a bit of a chess match at times, but fair play to our goalkeeper and our back four and the rest of the team for defending. I was really impressed and proud of them.
Coach, you mentioned your press. It was pretty solid for most of the game, pretty effective, but you couldn't create any chances like you did last week. Is that just kind of how it goes with the new system? Or
it's a combination. They're a better team than last week. And we switched our press a couple of times in the game because, like most Ivy League players, are quite smart. And they figured us out after 60 minutes, and then we had to adjust to make it a bit more complicated for them. And I thought the girls listened and they tried their best to do what needed to be done. We got a couple of turnovers in the final third, but our final ball or quality wasn't there. And maybe in another game we sneak a win. Not that I don't think we deserved a win, but maybe we would have sneaked a win in a different game.
Can you talk about the player Mackenzie Sullivan in goal today?
Yeah, she was very good. She came out well for through balls in the first half, and really they only created two good chances the first half. One was a breakaway which the kids should have scored but didn't, fortunately. But Mackenzie came out and cut off the angles perfectly. And then a deep corner kick was difficult to deal with, and that was it. And then solid, comfortable, and then the last 10 minutes it got a bit nervy, as it always does in college games when people start getting anxious about the result. And she came up big a couple of times. So really proud of Mackenzie. She's been with the program 4 years, and she's been a fantastic debutant for all those 4 years. And this was a chance to shine, and she did brilliantly.
Coach, it was also a pretty physical game throughout. How do you think your team dealt with it?
Yeah, I think from an athletic and physicality perspective, we can match most teams, especially at our level. So I'll back my girls against anybody in that kind of game, and it was. I don't think it was chippy. I just think it was a good Division 1 physical game, and they've got some athletes, we've got some athletes, and it was a boxing match.
One more thing for me, you got visibly upset with the ref when Davies was handed a yellow card. What did you say to the ref?
Well, I think he gave a lot of soft fouls, which is fine if you're calling those soft fouls. Millie got the ball, and then he calls a foul, and then she gets upset, and instead of understanding the scenario, you just taken the ball away from a kid who's worked hard to get the ball. She's frustrated, she yells at him, and then he doubles down and gives a card for that. That to me is poor management of the game. To me, a referee says, I get it, I'm calling the foul, you're upset with it, it's not that big a deal, I'm going to walk away from the frustration. And he didn't. He had to give a card. And if you watched the men's game last night, he would have given 20 cards. If he's going to ref that like a men's game, he would have given 20 cards last night. And that's what I dislike most, is the difference in officiating from the men's and women's game. And he did a good job. It's just two softer fouls, which our players are working hard to compete. And when a referee stops them from competing because maybe they're women, I think that's nonsense. They're soccer players. Let them play, let them ball. And I just thought he was a little bit quick on his whistle. Overall, I think he did a really good job of managing stuff. It's just no need.
All right, and then last thing, quick turnaround, Sunday afternoon against Yale.
Yeah.
With the heat and mentality? How do you think your team is?
Yeah, it's early in the season. We're not 100%. We will have to rotate more on the bench. We're playing a good Yale team. They were a top 100 team last year. Their RPI is higher than ours was last year. And they didn't play today, so they're going to come in a little bit fresh. But it's their first game, so they might be getting the kinks out of their system and stuff, and it's our third game, so hopefully we're a little bit more organised and a bit more fitter than they are at this stage of the season. But it's definitely a challenge, and I like to throw challenges to this team. I think adversity early produces results late, and we're going to throw everything at this group. And so far, they've given me everything I can ask.
All right, Coach, thank you.
Thank you, guys.